Hello.
I'm changing my prediction too.
Okay.
We've got two double backs.
Yeah, I think this is reasonable. Not, sometimes Dan is very finicky with the predictions, but today's actually reasonable. This is the first time.
What do you mean?
I think it's a reasonable change.
That's just because
he tries to change after the
to
pistol round a lot.
I just trolling that.
I didn't change at half time, but I mean, it's a rare change for me, so I think it has more, has more weight to it. So I think that's pretty reasonable. So we're all going tricked, I think, at this point. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
with
just
a triple back.
The numbers are too the numbers are too strong. The numbers are too strong.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sliggy was right. Just the one time. A broken clock is right twice a day. So.
Dude, you know that so much happened in the week between, like the week gap that we had.
Yeah.
Like new cache, Vertigo updates, and all of that.
Well, yeah, we could quickly talk about the Vertigo. I mean, train again. The numbers, like the Vito's not there for Virtus.pro. I don't know how much we can really add to that. Have you had a look at Vertigo?
I saw it. I read the patch notes and I saw the visuals, but I haven't played it, so I don't know how the new timings work. But I know they blocked off the wood and they added like a new connector.
It's a little side alley thing that goes around the back.
I had a look this morning for about 5 minutes. I saw pictures as well, but I haven't ventured into it. So I think for me, I think A might be a little. I don't know about the spawn timings because they've basically made the choke point on the ramp tighter to allow. They're trying to encourage the CTs to use people to try and control that choke point of a smoke. So even though there's a big wall there are 2 gaps in the wall. I just ran at one of the gaps and just threw a smoke because you can't even see the steel girder, but it still hits it pretty easily. So there's nothing special needed in that respect. So I think that people, the CT sides are going to have to invest more people towards A to secure that area and start the setup. They've removed the forklift down there.
That's a good change.
Excuse me. Yeah, they've taken the gap away from the sandbags. So those things are interesting. I think from a T perspective, bloody asthma. I think from a T perspective, the T's are going to have to. I think it's like a more invested play when you go towards A with how that kind of channel is from the construction towards the site, rather than because I felt like if you're watching it, it just looks like a battle of variants around smoke grenades on the old Vertigo. So I think they're trying to change that because you can't really. I think it's hard to see sometimes, like when you're having like a firefight on the A bomb site. It feels like from a viewer perspective, it's hard to see where the team skill is as opposed to an individual skill. Because you don't have like a traditional mid because of the verticality and so on. So you're not fighting for map control towards a bomb site in the traditional ways that you normally would. So I think it's hard to communicate a story, which is something that Anders are talking about as well. But anyway, we can talk more about that later because Virtus.pro are going to be starting on the T side and Tricks are Wing through B, it seems, with 3 players. Very aggressive play from them. They've all gone for Kevlar. 4 players, excuse me, with Hunden spotting from Connector. So this is a very unusual play from Tricks.
I like this. This is cool. Especially if they've done any amount of demo viewing. This is one of VP's more played maps, so lots of data out there. And VP will be going in towards the A site, but look how fast the rotation is. So nothing really lost here. Hunden will go down by the bomb train. But out comes all the CTs from ladder, or at least maybe soon they will. Snacks is close. Smoke is really causing some problems. Snacks is going to go close. And indeed, he'll get 1, but the trade comes through. Can't quite reach these choke points here. Tricked having some trouble, but the headshots will bail them out. Speaking of which, Snatchy is there with a couple of fantastic headshots. And he will make sure that VP don't concede this round. They needed this pistol, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, that was looking really bad there for VP. I mean, they were up 5-on-3, and then they started pushing. Snatchy bailed him out.
That was a really wild round from start to finish. We saw Tricks their play towards B on the CT side. I don't know if they've done that before because Virtus.pro, they're a team who will commonly have 3 people with grenades on a pistol round. They had 1 guy with grenades, 4 sets of Kevlar, a smoke from outside T-Con in towards the ladder room. So it seemed they had a hard read as to what may have been going on there for Tricks. But again, the 1v1s, the pushes didn't quite work out. However, Snatchy pulled it back and Virtus.pro take the pistol. A much needed pistol 3 MAC-10s for Virtus.pro. They have to make good use of this utility to close the distances.
It's interesting. The bomb's still alley. So I think they're doing an inner fake here, which is not good because Tricked is pushed ladder and mid, and they have chances here to get those close-up kills.
Do they convert into a wrap? Well, they've lost main. Is there a plan B? They're going through the IV position. That looks really weird from Rojake's perspective. But here we go, another drop now, and the bomb, I think it's been spotted, definitely has. Veggie half health, and Shush makes his way down, and Snacks has no idea about it. The spray transfer to main, that's ridiculous. And indeed, Rambo smelled disaster, and it seems that it might just be disaster. A triple peak from Tricked, and that is a short-lived advantage for Virtus.pro.
I think just trying to get a little too fancy there. You got to expect the other team to have super low money, and I would have liked, they didn't quite have ladder control or mid control, and they're trying to finish there. So not enough early map presence or securing those close range spots to finish later.
I don't know how Shush made 0 sound on that ladder, because it looked like he was kind of flying down it, the top half. Something for me to learn.
I think that's that point about like having team main and ladder if you want to finish A. This is actually another thing that I see teams that aren't super good on train sometimes just leave that out. And that can be a huge problem, because if you're playing against a really good train team, they're going to take the space that you give them, especially those forward positions. It's just like the strongest way to shut down those outer plays, as you can prevent the other team from splitting in a coordinated manner, which is where they find their strength on the push. So
in the last 2 rounds, Tricked have done double HEs into main, but both in completely different positions. Second one you saw on Slicky's cam was far deeper than the first, in the opposite corner, pretty much.
So that's really good at conditioning your opponent, because that gives them pushing opportunities later, because the opponents will avoid those certain spots and those timings.
More issues for Tricked as there's a scout shot over the top, but Shush is really cleaning up now. The bomb's made its way into the B bomb site. It's a side plant, no less, so if they can push, they can't push, but if they could, then that is such a good advantage if you can push the other side of the train yard. Buffs get high. Not going to be an easy defuse, surely. Takes one out from the side and straight through the smoke. Bubsky continues as he was on overpass. Very expensive round, but they do prevail.
That was really close. Just that spray through the smoke. Oh my goodness. I wonder what happens if he doesn't get that.
Yeah, that probably would have lost. So that's, you know, everything is kind of going Trick's way.
Yeah.
Man, really like shooting through smoke. And
Rojake's bought a Bison.
He also has dualies.
That's got to be an accident, because it's past the Bison now.
Dualies.
Bison and dualies. He's just pressed all the buttons.
He's trying to break all the records here, James. He got the 2 AWP aces in 1 half. Go for something else here, I don't know.
Bison, or Bison as Henry G would say. Who knows how to pronounce it? I don't know what country it's from.
Bison. Yeah, it's interesting. But just a quick point as well about like team main and ladder control. One of the important reasons why you want to mix up your pacing on the T side as well is that a good CT side is going to take advantage of spots you don't hold early. If you have a very slow timing, they're going to take team main, they're going to take ladder room. But if you have a very fast pace, to mix things up, you might actually catch them when they're out of position, because they expect certain timings to be free, and when suddenly they won't be. So that's another reason why you want to go fast sometimes, go slow other times on the T side, even with the same openings. And I think Tricks, if we can gain anything from what we've already seen from them, that they're very active. They're going to be making plays around the map.
Yeah, they're super coordinated. They're taking things together. They're going to take map control, like you said. And
so the Bison is Russian.
Okay.
So the AK-47 was made by Monsieur Kalashnikov, and his son was part of the team that created the Bison. So left to ask some... I'll ask Simple how he thinks the Bison is pronounced. He was live streaming yesterday from his house on Instagram, and I tuned in, and I wrote "show fridge magnets" in the chat, because he is a fridge magnet man, and he had a lot more than I expected. So I gave him an Andy Warhol fridge magnet of the can of soup.
Oh yeah.
As a present. which is on his fridge somewhere.
He's a collector of fridge magnets.
Yeah, he's got like 100 on his fridge.
I would have never guessed that.
I know, right? Because there was a tour of his apartment, and he just had loads of fridge magnets. I was like, well, I want to get this guy a fridge magnet. That's the kind of guy I am. So it seems they haven't been conditioned, Dan, with these grenades, because Snatchy did take them, although, you know, he's got an AWP, he's going to play his spawn.
That Ivy smoke from the CTs, I think, can be so strong, because if you get control there as the CTs, the investment of having to put a T to create pressure there, if there wasn't already, is a huge deal. And the CTs now know that there's no one coming from Ivy. And in comes the push. They will have to just look towards the front of the bomb site, or the front of the train yard.
Snack saved himself with a crouch there. Blind spray would have killed him, surely. Acor's still alive. And that's a huge problem, because he has been the problem. One of many of them for Virtus.pro. In fact, it's been more than one on Overpass, but now they're on a 2 versus 3 on train. Mihu will even the numbers. He continues to swing, just going for it. And the bomb's been lost. Snatchy has 45 seconds. He creates some space with a flash and a smoke grenade. Snatchy is a problem. That jump is way too much information. Maybe the strongest player of the team. He heard the jump, but he doesn't look around the corner. Surprising, but there we go. 4-1 for Tricked. 2 players survived. AWP will be rescued.
VP getting it down to a 2-on-2. They had plenty of time, like 50 seconds on the clock, and Mihu just charging forward. Like you said, I think he could have time to slow it down. He got the kill, so the CTs knew where he was. So he should have held and maybe had his teammate with the op kind of work the rest of the map. I guess a little bit of impatience there, just kind of rushing things and looking for fights.
Yeah, it's true what you said, Dan. We have seen a lot of W from Mihu in this series, where he just kind of run and just been popped multiple times. Maybe there's some impatience from Virtus.pro again. It'll be frustrating the way that game of Overpass went. Not that they may expect it to be too far otherwise, but still.
And I like the set piece. I think this is something... Your defaults haven't been working, so get your nades out, get up close, try to find an opening. Immediately countered, full nades here by Tricked.
That's all their utility gone, save for one smoke from Snatchy. And it is a shooting gallery. Clay pigeons in the field. Driven pheasants. Send the dogs out. That's rough.
Yeah, this is when you're T-side train and you know the CTs just have a bankroll like this, and they have full nades. It's tough to fight back.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we'll keep seeing similar aggressions, or if Tricked have a lot more play in their playbook, because again, we saw that in one of the previous gun rounds. We saw the IV smoke and the IV aggression, and it doesn't cost you too much to do that. There's also ways to do that pretty safely, to get that aggression in there. So they're not going to go for that early in this round. They're going to mix things up, playing 3 players closer towards the T-main and ladder. It looks like they're expecting a rush on the outside. And Acor's gone aggressive here, quite deep with the AWP there. Look how aggressive they are everywhere, Trick. They're getting all the kills. They don't check for Mihu, but the trade is there. Too much damage has been done, just shutting off all these choke points. Oh my god, they got aggressive everywhere. What do you do about that?
I love that they are aware of what their strengths are in this particular matchup, especially with the maps that are available. Because how did Virtus.pro deal with this? I don't know that they're able to. A coordinated attack. A surge as the American military once did.
It's almost like Tricked are making the CT side look like CT side Overpass, which is kind of ridiculous because Train is much more limited. So that is impressive, because it does look the same. Like VP can't even get close to running their default before there are already plays which are breaking off parts of their default before they can move into the next phase of their round.
Am I right in thinking that Train is a community-made map originally?
Originally, I don't think was it? Well, I guess originally, technically.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm curious. So I just think, like, if you look at the design of the map, it's so unique.
It's one of the original maps.
I can't imagine a map of this nature being created like now, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there's structures. You've got, you know, all the other maps kind of like open spacey.
Yeah.
And
it's very claustrophobic. Vertigo is a little, but again, that's not like a new map, if you will. So I can't imagine a map like this being designed like from scratch without, like if this map hadn't existed before, I can't imagine a map like this being created in 2019.
There's so much potential for great maps. Can't wait, you know, to see what the future brings in that sense. But VP trying new things, trying to go aggressive, just trying to run out here, making the individual plays, and it's not working out. They're just losing all the 1v1s, which is not too surprising. They're moving into a lot of disadvantage. But at this point, they just want one of their players to go off, get that 2K on the entry or something, and it's not going to work out.
yeah, and Tricked again, just showing how deep their CT side is, playing fully passive there, and switching things up. You know, one round they're passive, one round they're aggressive, and just I love it. I think anyone that's watching that has trouble on train or even overpass, I think Trick's approach to their defense it's very tough to play against on T side.
In the original version of Train, the sound of jet engines can be heard on the map when a player reaches the sniper nest at the center. Some Train trivia for you.
The sniper nest in the center?
Yeah.
Like
I don't remember that, to be honest, but that's what the Wikia page says anyway.
Presumably T-Sky, where Hell is. There was like a ladder that goes up.
Oh, okay.
I guess that would be it.
Oh, above like Z?
Yeah. No, the other one. That on the where Hell is.
Oh, okay,
Was,
right.
wait, or am I thinking, was that the Source version of Train? Am I like mixing my trains up? That was in Source. Was that in... That was 1.6 and 1.6. Source and 1.6. Okay. Okay, cool. Because I know there was some version. The original versions of Train in CS:GO that was there. I think then it got removed. Yeah.
Was it there originally? I can't even remember, man.
Was it there in Go? I think it was in Go, right? Wasn't it?
Mass confusion in the studio.
Yeah, it was yeah, I mean, it's your fault, James. You started talking about jet engines, and like who made the original Train and stuff. Like,
I mean, maybe original, like.
If it wasn't 1.6, I definitely use stop sound to block it off.
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember ever hearing that. I can't imagine. I think probably like when it was first made or something, you know.
I just missed the sound of the ladders.
Oh, that sounded so bad.
It's amazing.
Like I had no idea how bad it was. I did miss it, but when you compared it, like holy potatoes, this is so clunky. Anyway, Virtus.pro looking for their second round. PHR's managed to survive the initial onslaught around the main and Olaf position.
Yeah, good smokes, control smokes there towards Hell as well, with the molly first to block the CTs pushing, and now they've got so much space, they're moving forwards. Oh, the lineup's almost there for... Actually, it's Snatchy that picks up the frag here. Boski wrapping around the bomb train to do the damage. A-Core from the back as well. All of a sudden, just like that, down to 1 HP. Mihu is surely dead. There it is. A-Core will finish him off. Great. Again, the approach was cool there from VP. That you get that deep molly down towards Hell, blocks a CT push. You can smoke it, you can flash high. Got all these channels to move through. Still couldn't make it work, however.
Yeah, that was a great entry by Hunden, clearing alley by himself and letting his teammates know they could just focus on mid and ladder. And VP, they got out. They had a chance. But you know, getting out and then finishing towards bomb train. That's a whole second phase that they just kind of lost those battles there.
Oh my god. There's the duels around these positions. Sometimes I just don't understand. Like, intuitively, it doesn't make sense for me that the player below has advantage, but it's always a headshot. I feel like if you're shooting at them directly from below, it seems like it's really easy to get the headshot.
Yeah. And yeah, like you mentioned before, this ladder control, it's on train side, it's vital that you take it. You have to deny the CTs this info. Usually that's a pretty good fight when you're up there. Roche is full W'd in there. Got some trades outside.
3v3 now. 9-1 for Tricks. Can they continue the domination? No. Maybe this is getting into coin flip territory. 2 players by connected though for Tricks. Looks like they're boosting. London just waiting. Mihi's been very patient, but he will fall. He was low. Now he's lower. There goes the bomb. PHR now 1 versus 3. He knows there's elevation. Hasn't heard a player drop off just yet. Bunny hopping from A-Court. Does he see the elbow? Yeah, he does. There's one. Ivy player. They could double peek now. Looking around, so many targets, and it will be a 10th round for Tricks. A landslide so far. So this is not a community map. This was made by Barking Dog Studios. In, it says, Barking Dog Studios were given a task to develop Counter-Strike Beta 5.0, and a guy called Christopher Mayer designed Trade. So Pop Dog, the Pop Dog logo is the logo of Barking Dog Studios.
Ah, cool. That's actually really cool. I wanted to highlight something about Hunden's angle in that previous round. I think it's always good talking about right eye and left eye peaks and geometric advantage, because that's something that I think is like an invisible thing that people don't understand as much as they perhaps should.
Yeah, where you do have an advantage peaking right angles.
Yeah.
Something with the models and the way the vision works, the camera model.
Yeah, the camera is slightly to the right, so you always see more if you're peeking to the right.
Oh, running out of bullets. They tanked the damage, but I don't know if there'll be much more than this. Reload punished. Snatchy has a chance, and now he is dead. 11-1.
So I actually have a question for you with the right eye, left eye peeking run, because in theory, it actually, if let's say you know you have really good map design and you understand all these elements when you're making the map, it's another thing to make certain positions better or worse, right? Whereas if you have it, the camera's perfectly centered so that you remove left and right eye peek, do you think that's actually worse in terms of taking away a way to find advantage? Or
yeah, it's interesting you say that. I mean, when you make maps, you know that mechanics in there, you do have to consider that. You don't want to give an advantage to one side more so than the other with too many right angle peaks. And
would you be like sad to see it go?
I mean, you can change it now because people are just so used to the maps and the way the angles work. That's aggressive play.
It's just a DM mode. And here comes the flank! Okay, that's not how that was supposed to go. Now the boost comes in for the trade. And again, it is just death matching here. I think VP long ago kind of gave up in anything more than that. Snatchy tries to wrap around the side, and even in DM mode, Tricked are crushing. 12-1 for Tricked.
Yeah, and I think just they're having trouble finishing. They're getting into these clutch rounds. They're giving themselves chances, but they're trying to make solo plays. So they need to group up a little bit closer to each other so they can trade or support each other. They had one molly that they could have used at Z.
All right then, attempt number 14. Or 13 if you will, since they've won. Well, I guess every round is an attempt, so attempt number 14, there we go. Thinking out loud with James Bardock. Snatchy into HE. That's a really risky smoke to go beyond because the CTs can be creeping behind it. Maybe less likely in a professional match, but it's a risk. It's something that could be happening. There could even be 2 players there. And they could snap you from above and then pop out from below as well. There's so many different things they could potentially do. It's just not worth the potential variance. There's the opening kill from Tricks.
Yeah, Roger's like, he's been very aggressive. He's very confident to take these battles. Look at, they're just winning all these fights. It's so, again, like, I just can't stress it enough. It's so cool. All of the mini aggressions we're seeing from Tricks. And I think that's one of the better ways to describe it, because it's not like there's one centerpiece. It's just, here is a small aggression over here. I'm jockeying for position over here. You know, they're making a flash play over there. They're getting information constantly, finding ways to take challenges. It's like a mini T-side.
And they get a ton of information when they clear those spots, and they're getting the kills too. They're playing super confident, and just everything is working for them. You can tell they've got the tempo of the match, not giving any respect, any space to VP.
Yeah, it's devastating. And it's from the Virtus.pro perspective, it raises a lot of question marks about their map pool. Look at that, 30 damage, 224.
Show me the
damn.
ADRs, Slicky. Okay.
So, yeah, it raises questions about the map pool for Virtus.pro. We know they try to play Mirage a lot, but is there anything beyond that? Is there anything beyond T-Connector? Potentially not in this round for Virtus.pro because they are getting cut to pieces. Hands in the shredder, in the mincer, head first maybe. 14-1, maybe the most lopsided side of Train I can remember seeing. How short will the second half be? Find out after the break. Maybe the break will be shorter, longer than the actual half. Who knows?
Start your path to pro. Begin your matchmaking experience with like-minded players. Climb the ranks, meet your teammates, and make it all the way to the top. Rise through the ranks to the FPL circuits and play alongside the best players in the world. And who knows, you might just be the next Zywoo. Begin your road to pro at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Well, how about that? The pistol, and then nothing but utter disaster for Virtus.pro. That is it's just hard to look at, isn't it? Up top.
It's a shame in many ways because VP, the players they have great players, storied players, experienced players, up and coming new players. It's actually probably the best AWP in Poland, I think, hands down. You know, they have really good players. And so it's always sad if you can't see them find a system or find a structure that can make those players together sing. Like as you said, James, that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, but they've been together for a while now, and they seem so far behind on so many maps.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, we know that Cuban's been number 6 for ages. But do they need a fresh pair of eyes or someone like some kind of like chief strategist or something? Because we are not seeing as much as we would have liked to see by this point. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get into an era where there's, and I think it's coming in the next couple of years where there's more coaches, better, quality of coaches and coaches that give more responsibility, like the ability to cut players if necessary, and just because I think people would be surprised that most coaches don't have as much agency as perhaps they should in a team.
Ooh, wow. I've not seen a block of a grenade that successful in a long time. Normally it practically ignores. That's an interesting shot. Tricked have one player remaining, Bubsky. So the bomb has been planted, but surely now he can't do anything. Almost a quadruple peak at this point. Yeah, it is. He just outpositioned too many man. And Virtus.pro will finally get a second round on the board. It's 2-14, and they've won both pistols.
Yeah, and that slight gap there under camera allowed him to sit there. That molly, I think, designed to probably go a little bit more left, so he can't shoot or sneak through that smoke. But one of you mentioned the chief strategy officer. I like that. I think having an analyst that can kind of fit into that strategy role, where they can watch a bunch of demos and then just cherry pick the best strats they see, and then just implement them to your team, right? Like, let the other teams find those really intricate smokes and nades, and then just replicate it.
I would see it as partly an evolution of when you have the coach as the in-game leader, until Valve basically banned it as being too intrusive, if you will. But I don't know, like whatever they have at the moment, it's not working on enough maps, and I think by this point it should be. So something is missing, and a revolving door of players doesn't seem to be the solution.
Yeah, I feel like for me, the most time I'm willing to give a team until you should start to see significant improvements is like 3 months. I'm willing to wait like 3 months. I feel like that's enough time, personally. I don't know where you guys stand on that.
Well, a new roster, you need to see promise. I'd say like 2-3 months is, like a Cloud9, for example, is the minimum, and I think at this point you'd want to see more than we're necessarily always seeing from them. They get a result here and there, but anyway, now we've got the rifles out for Tricked as the opening frag. A smoke to create some space, block off the Ivy player. Snatchy creeping, found himself a rifle. Avangard love to have somebody in sandwich on the CT side. Roger will be forced from his position. Choked out and smoked out.
Lurking Ivy, pretty classic lurk play. They even have Roger's going back into halls here, and this is kind of light on the firepower, this push, and they may be struggling to get that bomb planted. You can see lots of pressure here. Acor on 2 HP, and that flank is desperately needed. Here comes 2 players from upper. My goodness, Acor gets around the corner just in time, trying to throw the bomb back. Are they going to try to recover the bomb and now take it towards A? That is possible, but Roger only has 19 HP, and there's going to be players on the high ground, and he should realize that. He does, but he can't hit the shot. And what a weird situation. The flank activated extremely late.
Yeah, way too late. And Hunden did find that opportunity to flank alley, but he stalled. Yeah, I guess he called. He wanted the teammates to fall back, but the bomb was already too committed in inner. Couldn't fall back.
Guess he'll try to hold on to his rifle. Maybe. Maybe. Keep the money together with the team. Could have opted to use that this round to try and do more damage to the economy, but Tricks are playing the long game. They only need to win 2 rounds, so they'll give themselves no handicaps in their full buy rounds. The odd grenade here and there. So it's a long road for Virtus.pro, but maybe Tricked will suffer the same fate of very few T rounds won, though they only need to win very few T rounds, so they have the advantage psychologically in that respect. Better to do it first than to try and replicate it in the second half. And the Deagles are back for Tricked.
Oh god. This is kind of scary. Veggie's gone down as well. Roger does so much damage with that Deagle, finally eliminated. But in the chaos, Shusha's crept out onto the B yard. Now, his position could win them the round if he's going to pick the right route, but he doesn't go to the right spot. He gets caught out. Bomb will go down. That's a huge win.
Or will it though? Oh! That's a meaty HE.
It's impressive to find that the bomb plant. Usually in this round you're looking for a kill or two. They've already got 2 kills. Now they get a bomb down as well. That's the perfect scenario. A bit of economic damage on your opponent, and you get some extra money in your coffers as well.
And if I'm tricked, I mean, first gun round you get off Olaf, you get that easy pick. Second gun round you just walk out mid and deeg them. So they've now got an opportunity here. VP's playing passive, so they're gonna let him out mid and ladder if they choose to do so.
Let's see if that plays out.
And I also like that late inner flank, and they also have that late alley flank too. So they're utilizing the space, and we'll see if they continue with that like lurk play from that edge player.
Some shenanigans from PHR. And Snatchy just running sideways past Ivy. Not advised, as you can see. Trying to get away with something cheaply proves to be very expensive. Mihu's got a forward position in T-Con. And what did Virtus.pro do? They have to basically play off of Mihu's information, I think, at this point, 4 versus 5. Try and put their players in the right spot. PHR seems to be getting curious, though, towards the upper B position. They need information versus Pro, but it may cost them even more.
Yeah, this is a really rough spot because they have no utility really. You'd almost want to see them stack everyone in one bomb site, but the problem is obviously the round score is not going to really allow. They have to play for the win every time. Mihu will take down the first player, so you've got to win all the heads-up duels, and 2 players go down thanks to Mihu, but it's not enough. 3 versus 2 is the advantage for Trick. They have the A bomb site. Snacks has to get some damage in here. They don't know where he is. He's the one that's going to take some attention away from ladder room to allow his teammate to come in. Stacks with a double. There is the bomb ticking away though. Bowski is going to understand this one behind him, but VP, the round will be saved thanks to Stacks and Mihu. But that's a close one. They lose 3 players.
Yeah, and it's two 5v4s that Trick have lost. So individual play stepping up from VP, that's a good sign. You'll give them a little bit of fire here.
With the bomb plant, Trick can buy every round, so these frags may start to make things a little weaker for Virtus.pro in terms of the strength of their defense. We shall see. For now, they're doing just fine, however. In fact, Snacks has got $9,000 in the bank, so they have no issues at present. They still have many rounds to come back. Trick have started to plant the bomb more. Oh, that's not a good start, is it? That's especially when you're... Well, he's not playing B solo, as you can see. But when you are, and you make a mistake like that, it can prove very costly, or it feels that way. The potential is there. So
that smoke was there, I mean, that would have bought VP another 20 seconds. Of Trick taking Brown Hall, but now it's fully clear.
Trick probably don't know that that smoke was thrown, especially with all the running and so on at the beginning of the round, which is certainly something. So they'll wait out the utility. Glass to be broken. That can enable smoke towards Ivy from up there, as well as other places. 3-2 set up for Virtus.pro. Playing a reactive game at the moment, though Mihu is going closer to main.
Looks like some kind of inner fake. I think they'll fake inner and... Oh, nope, they're kind of confusing. Last minute calls, it doesn't seem like they know what they want to do.
There's a forward smoke there. Oh wow, Mihu with just 1 bullet, but he gets it onto Hunter's head. Damage is being done here. Trick struggling. Enchi with a nice double of his own. Reggie with the trade, but he doesn't have time in this situation to really do all that much more, it would seem. Could try to go for some kills. Obviously, at this point, they need 2 rounds. Getting some extra damage on the economy would be nice. Not going to give him the plant hit.
He can plant.
He didn't go for it in time. Got an extra kill out of it though, which is not bad. Again, they have time. They've got patience. They can be patient. Yeah, they just need 2 rounds.
Yeah, although they're losing, these rounds are still bringing it close. So they will, like, when there's if you have a big lead like this on T side, and you still, although you just need a couple rounds to win, you still want to try to drain the CT's money. So eventually, like if they do to get it to a close point, they're, you know, I mean, especially on a map like Train, you want to try to limit as many ops needs as possible.
Still not going to 10 Pinnacle. 9.84. They're teasing us. I want to see the double figures. Maybe if Trick to get to 15. And that does seem to be a maybe at the moment. 6 rounds in a row for Virtus.pro. Definitely struggling on the T side of Train. And it is a struggle in general. But at some point you do need to win a round or two. They did make it quite expensive for Virtus.pro in that round prior. So if they were to win this round, Tricked, I do wonder what VP would even have to bring into what could be the final round. So it's an important situation for Virtus.pro to prevail. And that's a great start. 2 kills through the flames and the smoke. There's PHR to deliver another one as well. Bomb plant becomes crucial now for Tricked. 2 versus 4. The longer they wait, the more CTs will start creeping. There's a molly for Snatchy. We've got the wide swing, now the double peek from Virtus.pro, and they'll survive with 4 players. That is exactly the kind of round they needed to refill the coffers. Bomb planters for Trick, so again, the 4 buys will continue to come. 4,200 in the bank for them.
It's funny, this molly actually helps Snacks. It's there designed to deal with Snacks, but he just hops onto oil and easily finishes off 2 players. Great round from him.
Yeah, well played. Most people would have just dropped and played retake, but he played the complete opposite. Anticipating someone's pushing out top, and the angle's on them.
Now the score's getting close. 8 to 14. Virtus.pro decided to start with 4 players in the A bump site on this one. And for the most part, they've had 2 players towards B, so there's a difference in that respect. Oh, Mihu can't get back to Sandwich in time. 4 versus 5, some spontaneous concrete drilling above us. You probably can't hear it too much on the stream though, but you may just hear a noise from time to time. I don't know what that's about, but there we go. The construction above us, unfortunately. Anyway, Snatchy's made his way through the IV position of the AWP, and that is going to give Virtus.pro a little confidence to put 2 people towards the B bomb site. It seems that Tricks are going to burst through the smoke with no warning whatsoever. Oh, that pot flash is going to be absolutely beautiful. They're just standing there, but they're not going to check. PHR's not checking. There's so much information to be had there. This could be disastrous. There's no time for grenades. I think they were hoping for a play just as the smoke dissipated, but it was still up.
Yeah. I think the smoke there deterred him from peeking.
Oh, that is stunning, isn't it? Roger, he's been on point in this series so far. 27 for 13. Yeah, look at him go.
Looking snappy.
So awesome to see. I have to say, you know, it's just always so impressive when you look at Danish Counter-Strike. Oh my god. It's so nuts. They've got like a population of like 5 million.
Yeah.
Yet they've got the best the best average level in terms of just like the culture, the individual skill, just the attitude that they have there, because the standards are so high. You have to do everything. You can't just be a run and gun kind of insane mechanical player. You gotta be smart as well.
So much potential with that flashbang, just a second too early. And there we are. Now we can see with the money that's left for Virtus.pro, they're going to have some issues. So all those kills in those rounds lost will pay off. We see some grenades here and there, but we've got shortcomings now.
And just what you're saying, Daniel, about the population and just, you know, Denmark. I mean, Sweden's like that too. And I think a lot of that has to do with like those countries, when you have success, when you have like a generation that's had success, it spawns like inspiration for a new community to rise and, you know, to follow suit in the game. And then they learn from all those experienced players, and it just like kind of stacks up.
That's a good point. I guess it has to help too that they have great sort of awareness in the general country. Just in the media and everything else. You know, Astralis really put up on a pedestal. We had the Danish Prime Minister as well, you know, talking at the events that they, you know, that they've had. Like there was a blast event in Copenhagen where you know that was the case. So a very accepting culture towards Counter-Strike in particular, for sure. And look at this flank from Mihu. This is brave. There's 3 players there. We'll get one of them. But it's a 4 versus 3 now for Trick to finish things off, and we could finally be ready to say goodbye to Virtus.pro at
For the
sea.
week. Sounded very final there, Dan.
Yeah.
Bomb wasn't spotted by Mihu in that push. It was around the corner. The usual grenade. Close, but not quite. Instant rotation from Snacks. Reading that it's probably a B play. Only one player there. PHR's had his strafe jumping game on.
What a spot. The perfect spot for this situation.
Marvelous. And he's going to get all 3. That's not too shabby at all.
That's literally the only spot he could have done that from. And well played.
That's actually really smart. So when there's, I guess when there's very few players left in the round, it's really late, and he could be anywhere.
Yeah, because if you're in any other spot, getting 2 kills like that it's impossible, right? Because you get 1 and then you're kind of pinned into a position. But he's got this bird's eye angle and just the freedom of movement to shoot down. Well played. I mean, that's...
Imagine trying to call that on the T side as well. Top of the train. Probably going to be looking in between the trains.
Right?
I don't know what
jumped up.
Spot people what like call out people use to that, because I know the first player I saw using that spot all the time was Rops in 2018 or at the end of 2017. I miss watching Rops. I don't watch him very much anymore.
They don't make it to deep enough at the majors.
Yeah.
They don't make it to land enough.
Yep.
Outside of invitations. But hopefully they will eventually.
His stream is pretty good when he streams.
I mean, they look strong now. I mean, they've got, you know, with Kerrigan in there, they're starting to pick up pace, and they're playing really good at the bigger tournaments. You've got a ton of talent, and you've got a great, like, very experienced in-game leader in Kerrigan. That's a really good combination.
Yeah, so as long as they beat Mixed, we'll see them later on in this week. But here we go. Virtus.pro back to winning ways. But again, the loss bonus is such that Strict will not have too much issue buying. Smokes are up. Focus on the A bomb site. Presence shown towards B from Bubsky. And here come the grenades. This is it. There are only 3 CTs on the A bomb site, all around the bomb train. Rotation will be coming anytime soon. Smokes variants and too many Ts, surely. Possibly the end of the line. Snatchy spots 1 in the main position. Fade away HE grenade, does a little damage. 4v3, gotta find something soon. PHR's been spotted. Doesn't want to take that peek again. Would be exposed jumping up. Who goes first? There's a smoke for Snacks, that's about it. All 3 CTs together, the T's just not showing. There's a smoke on the bomb, but you're never going to get a ninja defuse in this situation. It's just too easy to line up along the side of the train. He's going to go for it though, PHR. Surely, yeah, he's going to go down immediately. Not the play. Snacks now 1 versus 3, and it is the end of the line after all. A more reasonable, respectable score, but still domination from Tricked. 16-9 over Virtus.pro.
Got there in the end. I almost wonder if we could have seen it more quickly. I think sometimes there's that element of they know there's only 2 rounds to win. You kind of foot comes off the gas ever so slightly because you feel really comfortable. Either way, Tricked, they showed a great series of Counter-Strike. Looks like a great team, really together, game plan, good coordination. Players are on individually. Couldn't really ask for anything more than that. It's VP that were the ones that looked disjointed.
Looks like Virtus.pro were defeated by the Veto. Mirage taken away. They floated over past. That didn't work out for them. These are, I think, 2 of Trick's best maps. Looking at the statistics, they're both in the high 70s for them. So
Nuke is one of the best, I think, as well.
Was always going to be a difficult affair for the likes of Virtus.pro. Nuke 73%. Yeah, they're pretty much all the same. 77, 71, 73 for Overpass, Train, and Nuke. And there we go. Roger almost with 3,000 damage. Big performance from him. 28 frags. That was all Tricked. the score doesn't really tell the story. 14-1 in the first half, and
oh, hello, Mars Sports.
ooh, they're down the map. Interesting.
Hmm.
I think this happened. I don't know who Mix played last week, but I think they took the first map. I think it was Avangar.
Yeah.
I think they took the first map versus
Yeah,
Avangar and
you're
lost
right.
2-1. So Mouse Sports, no, it's back and forth affair again. I do believe Scream is commentating that match on Caffeine. So go and find his stream if you want to look out for that one. In fact, we have an hour's break because that game was so fast. So go and see if you can find Scream on Caffeine and check out the match. In the meantime, we will be on a break, and then at the top of the next hour, it will be FaZe versus Big. But before we go, we have the X Factor play of the game. Let's see what it is. All right, what is it? Ooh, Acor, the second AWP ace to finish off the half, no less. This was Dirt McGirt, man. This was nasty.
So satisfying.
I love those shotgun ops, just unscoped, just straight up, you know.
Yeah, I know scope of an AWP is quite something. With the Scout, especially in the older versions of Counter-Strike, it was so relatively easy to do it, like close to mid-range. I could consistently headshot people with it, which I was quite proud about, and I always try and do that now. And also, before we go, CS Money, guys, is a website where you can buy and exchange, trade skins. So if you want to have an inventory as spectacular as mine, then there is a website for that. So check it out. We are heading to a break. You should go there, Dan. You need a knife. I took my knife back from Dan, so he's got no knives now. So maybe you could go to CS Money and get yourself a knife, Dan.
At least I'm not level 3, James.
Okay. Right then, just over an hour, and we're back for the next European match. We will see you in a little bit. Goodbye.